Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm the CEO of Weekend. In today's video, I would like to show you how our Compliance Copilot works in detail. We will go through all the key features and see how AI is simplifying compliance and client lifecycle. To illustrate that, we will go through a simple example of a new client onboarding, from data capture to screening and to the contract generation. Let's start with a simple prompt. I'm inputting some information about a new customer, and in that prompt, there is some information about him. We could also imagine that I'm adding some documents, some audio files, some email, whatever we want. I just send this information to the platform. We can see that the data was extracted. All the information here are now structured and mapped to my need. There is a little summary and some recommendation. I can now, for example, launch directly a screening from here. We can see the results of our screening. Here we have connected KYC Spider, which is a tool of the market, but we could also imagine that any other tool of the market is connected. If you are using LexisNexis, WorldCheck, whatever, we can connect it to this platform. We have the results of our screening, and now we can launch, for example, a rescoring, which is available in the platform. Let's do it. Okay, I have the result of my rescoring. It's pretty high because it's a PEP, but you will see that it's very easy to configure any criteria to evaluate the risk. It's prompt-based. Every feature of the platform can be configured based on a prompt. I can continue to either add some information or ask some question, but I can also view all information here directly in the client file. So I have all the information which is structured here and mapped according to my need. We'll see right after that we can configure that again with the prompt. I can see all the empty field in one click. I can very easily edit everything from here. We have the notion of smart folder. A smart folder is a folder created based on a prompt. As an example, here we can see that the client from Argentina can be created based on a simple prompt saying, okay, I want to see all the clients living in Argentina. Based on that, the platform will understand which criteria is needed and will classify everything automatically. It's very convenient to have dynamic folder and to avoid painful and heavy sorting of information. Of course, you can create traditional folder and, for example, create a priority folder and add it. The compliance screening results are available here. You have access to the detailed report and all the information here. For example, my tool has provided a nice report. I can see it here directly in the platform and have all the information. It's included directly. I have my rescoring available. We have created a feature to simplify the management of your internal rule policies. You can input each internal rule. For example, here in my example, any client which is from Russia, Venezuela, or Myanmar is forbidden. And I will confront that information based on the information that is here in my file, so Argentina, and I can check that this rule is fine. It is based on AI, so it is dynamic. We can see that there is a warning because one rule is saying, okay, if a client is a PEP, please create a warning. Other rules here is not evaluated because there is no information about it. If there is a screening hit, we are opening a compliance case. You can get a recommendation based on AI to help you solve that case. You can either directly trick that case in the platform or assign it to someone else or to yourself. Okay. And you can either resolve it directly or keep it to later. Instead of looking for some information on Google and then copy it into the platform, you can directly run a web search from the platform. It will simplify and avoid the copy paste. You have the possibility to add some internal notes. In that notes, you can also add a document. And you also have a validation workflow available. In my case, there is a two-step validation, for example, me as a relation manager and then to the compliance team. So as a relation manager, I can approve and this will be sent to the compliance team after and create a task. We can export the information in PDF, for example, to share it to someone else and say if I want to include the empty fields or not, and include or exclude some section of this client file. So I can create a PDF and have a nice export here available. If I go back to my client file, I can also, based on the information available here, create a contract based on a template that I've created in the platform. So if I click on generate contract, I can select the language, I can select the template available and click on generate. I have the contract which is created dynamically and filled with the information available in the platform. It is available in Markdown so that you can easily edit the information here. You can, for example, remove a section or you can add some information. You can either download this contract directly in PDF or as a Word, for example, to share it to the legal team. In my case, I will download it in PDF. And see that I have a nice contract customized with my logo, and these templates can be further customized, of course. Let's see other feature of the platform. In the link menu, you can easily create a link to collect some information. This link, for example, could be sent to a customer to get some information and to onboard him. So the customer will receive and see that screen. It is possible to interact or directly see the form which is needed and which includes some document. If I submit that form, it will create a new client in the platform and start a workflow, for example. All the tasks and case are available in my task menu. I can either see the tasks which are assigned to me or all the available tasks and cases in the system. I can see all the folders here available, and I can easily create a new one using the smart folder function or the traditional one. The smart folder function will simplify the sorting of all your customers based on any criteria that you want, based on a simple prompt. Now let's go to the setting menu to help you understand how easy it is to configure the platform. For example, if you want to create a new type of client, you can just configure a new file. You can name that file and prompt what information you need. If we take an example here for a physical person, I've just prompt that I want to onboard a customer and I can see the history of all the prompts. I can either directly input the field that I want or the type of form that is needed. I can, if I want to modify the form, I can just prompt it. And this principle, this prompt principle, is applied to any services in the platform. For example, I have many services available here. So the web search, the smart folder, the rescoring, the periodic screening, the validation workflow, the internal rule, um, also a regulatory compliance menu, which will be explained in another video, and the contract generation. All of these features can be set up and configured based on a prompt. If I take, for example, the rescoring, instead of having a very complex menu, I can just prompt whatever I want. Same principle apply, for example, for a contract. If I want to generate a contract, I can just describe it or drop the document. If I want to create a new rule, for example, I can just prompt that rule and that rule will be used in the client file evaluation each time. You can see that it's one sentence. It's very easy. Other options are available in the marketplace. Here you can connect any of the tool that you want. If you are using a screening tool, a CRM, whatever you want, we can connect it directly through our marketplace. We can manage easily users, groups, and workflow. You can create a workflow in one click and you can easily manage it. You can understand your AI consumption very easily. And if you have your own AI, of course, we can connect through your Copilot that you have on your Azure cloud, for example. And all key action in the platform is auditable here through our audit trail. Okay, thank you very much for watching the video up to here. I hope that you enjoyed the tour of the platform. If you have any interest or question, please don't hesitate to reach out and see you soon in the next video. Bye bye.